Earlier today in France, and a major controversy too has now erupted out of Paris. An Algerian boxer shown in the red uniform who failed a gender eligibility test last year has now won an opening fight after only 46 seconds. Her opponent breaking down in tears, calling it, quote, unjust. Greg Palcott picks it up from London with more on what happened in the ring. Greg.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, big controversy indeed at the Olympics. A boxer deemed a biological male beating an Italian female opponent, with the Italian crying out, "I couldn't take it anymore." Despite failing that gender test by the International Boxing Association and being banned from an international tournament last year, Algerian 25-year-old Iman Khalif was okayed by Olympic authorities to compete. And apparently today it was a very one-sided fight with Italian Angela Carini, also 25. After just 46 seconds and several sharp punches to the head, including the nose by Khalif, Carini abandoned the fight, threw her helmet to the floor, stormed off the boxing ring, and in fact went on to say that she had never felt such strong blows in a contest before. Now, Algerian Khalif has competed for several years in other international tournaments, including the Olympics, but was banned last year due to, according to officials, elevated levels of testosterone. Algerian sports officials have called the charges against Khalif baseless, but others have raised concerns about the health of opposing athletes when, according to one, a man fights a woman. And Khalif is not the only one getting attention. Taiwan boxer Lin Yu Ting is competing in the Olympics, including a fight tomorrow, and has also been deemed a biological male, according to the International Boxing Association. In a statement, the IBA said in part, "This test conclusively indicated that both athletes did not meet necessary eligibility criteria and were found to have competitive advantages over other female competitors." One more quote from the defeated Italian: "Boxing is a sport that teaches you to have respect for the opponent. It cannot and must not become an abuse." Back to you, Bill.
What a story. I think it's quite a moment in this whole campaign, whether it's here or overseas. Greg, thank you for that in London.
So, yeah, this is out of control. Where are the men at, though? Right? Let's get right into it. Where are the men? Like, if I found out my daughter was in a sport, a contact sport with a man, I would immediately pull my daughter. I would have stood up and said, "Listen, you're not gonna get my daughter killed fighting a biological male," right? And where are the men, right? Is it a problem with transgenders, or is it, and you know, all these agendas, or is it a problem with weak men? And I was a victim of that. I would say it's a problem with weak men, right? Is it a transgender and sports problem, or is it a weak male problem? Or, you know, a grooming of males, a watering down of the male, you know, is that the problem? And I would say it's a weak male problem, not a gender problem, because if you were a proper male, and like this girl's father, well, your job is to protect your children, right? You would immediately saw the danger in that and said, "Listen, I'm not letting my daughter fight. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if she wants to do it. I'm gonna find a way to stop this. Because if I don't, she's gonna get killed. It's a possibility she could get in this ring and die." You see? Because like me, I was into martial arts, boxing, all that kind of stuff. I know. Even now, I'm an old man. Generally, any woman, if I hit you, I'll probably kill you with the first shot. More than likely, you'll die if I hit you. Like one time, if I get one good shot on you, it's a wrap. You're going to get knocked out. You may have a concussion. You're going to fall, hit the floor, and you may die. Knowing that, I would never let my daughter fight a biological man. Regardless, I don't give a fuck what the Olympics say. I don't care what the law says, or none of that. You said, well, it's legal for your daughter to get in there and get killed by this man. I don't give a shit about the law. I don't care what law you made up. It was legal for them to enslave black people and kill them on the streets in America. That means I'm supposed to let you kill me and enslave me? Because you made a law that said it was legal? It was legal. I believe Hitler made the laws legal for what he did in Germany. So because they made it a law that said it was legal, then you just let them do whatever they want? It's not a gender problem. It's a weak male problem. You have to fight back. You can't just let people abuse your children. You know, I went through that where, you know, you see the system coming up against you, and you kind of saying, you throw your hands up and you say, well, man, there's nothing I can do. Let me tell you something. You're going to later regret that. You're going to be burying your kids way before their time. You're going to watch your kids get destroyed right in front of you, whether in one form or another, whether it be beat to death by a transgender or imprisoned or, you know, whored out on Instagram and Tinder or Facebook or something. You know why? It's a weak man problem, right? I'm gonna speak from a male standpoint, because when are men gonna stand up and say, yo, listen, I'm not letting you put my daughter in a ring with a biological man. I don't care who you are. I don't care what law you made up. You see, the same way I wouldn't let nobody, they pass a law and say, yo, now black people going back into slavery, right? Black people going back into apartheid and slavery, like Jim Crow Joe said in the 1970s. A lot of Negroes are fucking stupid. Joe Biden and who Kamala Harris is running with, right, hung out with Barack Obama. In the 1970s, he said he was against integration. But black people voted for him. So I guess if he wanted to bring, he against reparations, but if he wanted a law to put your black asses back in slavery, then I guess it's all legal. Why, you know, it's all good and legal. We wrote it down again. We reinstated apartheid, like Joe Biden wanted to do in 1973. So we reinstated it, so I guess it's okay, right? I guess all these men out here, these supposedly men with skinny jeans on and pink, you know, pink shirts and shit, right? And painted fingernails. I guess it's okay. I guess they just gonna walk down here and sign up for slavery or whatever it is they got going on, and they not gonna buck. Because, well, I mean, it's legal, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, just because they make shit legal and all that shit, you don't just roll over. You don't roll over and let nobody put your daughter in a ring and get beat to death by a man. He could have killed her. If he would have, depending on how skilled a fighter he is, he could have killed that woman in 46 seconds. The average woman, you put me in a ring, you lock me in a ring with her, and you just let me have at her, I don't care. I could kill her in about 46 seconds. I could beat her to death in 46 seconds, easily. You know how dangerous that is? But you let them do that. This is what I'm saying. This is not a, you know, issue to me with them. This is an issue with weak men. You see, because you had to be accountable to yourself and to God, and say, listen, I draw a line in the sand. I'm not gonna let y'all pull this shit, whatever it takes. You see, that if that means I had to sacrifice myself in some part of my life, then I'm gonna have to do that. But I can't let y'all get away with this. I can't let you kill my kids. I can't let you destroy their minds and their bodies for whatever confused agenda that you have, whatever alien agenda, confused agenda, wherever you're coming from, Nazi agenda, whatever it is, whatever the motivation is behind you doing whatever you're doing, I don't give a shit. I'm just not gonna have it. You have to have that. A real man has to have that single-mindedness. So this is not a problem. I'm gonna say this and go. This is not a problem with males and sports and female sports. This is a problem with weak men letting it happen. That's really what it is. That's all I got.